Hey, yo, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is Smart TCG, and today I'm going to be going over Archaludon in the post-rotation format. Archaludon is one of the strongest decks and has been seeing a good amount of success over in Japan, so I'm going to be going over which is my preferred way to build it, but just in general, you'll be seeing a couple of different deck lists in this video. Alrighty, so hopping into some really important cards that this deck did lose from the rotation, we have Origin Form Dialga V-Star with that Star Chronos attack. The goal of this card was to use Archaludon's ability to get a bunch of Metal Energies onto this powerful V-Star Pokemon, and then use Star Chronos to be able to deal 220 damage and take another turn after this one. However, this card wasn't played in all of the Archaludon builds just simply because it was relatively difficult at points to get set up, so this is not the most important card that we have lost. Radiant Greninja, though, is Radiant Greninja with that concealed cards, allowing you to discard an energy card from your hand and then draw 2 cards. Very, very powerful ability, allowed us to get Metal Energies into the discard pile so that we could then put them back on the board with Archaludon's ability. So we're going to have to find a way to kind of work around this. I do think that losing both of these cards is, quite unfortunate, but I do think the deck is able to survive relatively well without either of them. Alrighty, hopping into the 2 different engines we're going to be going over, we have the Hops Double and also the Dunsparce. I think both of these variants have their strengths and weaknesses, and we're going to hop into those right now. Alrighty, first off, we have Hops Double. Hops Double has that Challenge Horn ability, which reads, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. So think of it as a boss's orders, but as an ability. This is really, really powerful because you're going to be able to use cards like Professor's Research and effectively draw into a boss's orders. Whenever you draw into this card or a way to search it out, and you evolve one of your Wooloos into Double, you will be able to get a boss's orders effect, which allows for dynamic power plays. However, if you don't have the Dunsparce engine in this deck doesn't have Radiant Greninja anymore, so really its only draw power is that Fezandipiti, which is not necessarily always a stable engine. So you are a little bit more of a high risk but high reward build. Alrighty, so hopping into the other engine here, we have the Dunsparce. The Dunsparce has that runaway draw ability, which reads, once you're in your turn, you may draw 3 cards. If you drew any cards in this way, shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached back into the deck. So this is a really, really good card because it boosts the consistency of a deck that doesn't necessarily have any draw engine that is stable aside from Fezandipiti. So that's why I really like this card. It allows you to draw through your deck and find the cards you need to be able to consistently set up Archaludon after Archaludon. However, this version does have lower pop-off potential as you aren't necessarily able to have as many power play swing turns where you potentially use a hand disruption card and get a gust effect, which the other variant is capable of doing. So you are a little bit more of a stable engine, however, you do have a lower pop-off potential. Alrighty, here. Next up, we have Hops Zacian EX. Now, Hops Zacian EX is going to be only in one of these variants, as the other variant already has an answer to Cornerstone, but Hops Zacian EX here has that Brave Slash attack, which deals 240 damage to the opponent's active Pokemon, which is a direct counter to Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. Now, Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon is expected to be quite a popular card in the post-rotation format and causes some major issues for Archaludon because Archaludon has an ability which means that it is not able to deal any damage to this Cornerstone. So if you do play a one-of Hops Zacian, you will be able to deal with this because Hops Zacian does not have an ability. So I do think for a lot of decks in the post-rotation standard format, it's going to be really, really important to have a counter to the Cornerstone, and Hops Zacian makes a great counter. Alrighty, so hopping into it here, this is going to be my double Archaludon build. We have a 4/4 Archaludon line. Feels pretty standard. Think that you definitely want to play 4/4 so you can consistently find those pieces. Also got the 3/3 double line as well. 3/3 has felt like the perfect number. If you go down to 2/2, you're not going to be able to find them as much as you would like. So 3/3 has felt like that perfect count. One Hops Zacian EX as well for that Cornerstone matchup. Just being able to take down those wall decks, really, really important. So having that Zacian helps out in doing so. One Relicanth as well. One Relicanth, great to be able to copy that Raging Hammer when you have an Archaludon that is damaged on the board. One Fezandipiti as well. This is going to be your main draw engine throughout the game, and one Squawkabilly. Because you don't have Radiant Greninja anymore, Squawkabilly becomes a much more critical card in this deck to be able to get energies into the discard pile at the beginning of the game. For Professor's Research, for Iono as well, just max consistency there. Only 2 Boss's Orders because you have the double engine, and then 2 Professor Turo. This is great to heal your Archaludons, potentially get liabilities like, potentially Fezandipiti off the board. You can also reset a double line as well because you can Turo up the double and then bench a Wooloo and then be able to use the double on the next turn as a gust effect, which is pretty good. For Ultra Ball, for Night Stretcher, for Nest Ball as well, just for that max consistency. Then we also have 3 Earthen Vessel, 2 Pokégear, 1 Pal Pad, 1 Scoop Up Cyclone, and 2 Artazon, along with the 9 Metal Energy to round out the list. This list has felt absolutely fantastic, but let's hop into the other variant that I also like quite a bit. Next up here, we have the Archaludon with the Dunsparce. Pretty similar list here. We got the 4/4 Archaludon here. However, we do have a different engine in the Dunsparce with those 3 Dunsparce, 3 Dunsparce, and 1 Dunsparce EX. The Dunsparce EX is kind of a spicy card in this deck. Its first attack does 60 × 60 for each of your opponent's EXs on their side of the board, so you could potentially catch them off guard with a 1 energy knockout play if they bench too many EXs on their side of the board. And its second attack for 3 energy goes through all effects, meaning you'll be able to break through things like Mimikyu with it, which is quite nice. Also great to hit through things like Cornerstone. Next up, we also have Relicanth here, 1 Fezandipiti, 1 Squawkabilly as well. For Professor's Research, through Iono, you don't need necessarily as many draw supporters as you do have the Dunsparce engine. 4 Boss's Orders, though, because you don't have the double line, so you want to play a heavier count of Boss's Orders. And then we have 2 Professor Turo as well. For Ultra Ball, 4 Night Stretcher, 3 Nest Ball, 3 Earthen Vessel, 2 Pokégear, 1 Pal Pad, 1 Cyclone, and 2 Artazon to round out the trainer cards, and then 9 energy as well. 9 has felt relatively standard in this list. Haven't really felt like I've needed much more. It's felt like the proper count. But this is the other variant of the deck, and to be honest, out of them both, I like this one a little bit more. It's just more consistent. I think that's one of the important things is this variant is just able to draw through itself more consistently. It's able to set up a little bit more. So currently this is my preferred variant just because consistency is king. To be able to achieve your strategies, you have to be able to set up, and I think this list is able to do so. So yeah, that is currently going to be my Archaludon builds. I like them both. I think they both have a lot of potential, but I have been really enjoying this one, and I think it has a ton of potential. But anyways, if you're interested in both of the deck lists, the exports will be down in the description, so make sure to go check that out. But anyways, thanks so much for all the support as always. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think as well of these Archaludon builds, and tell me which one you prefer the most. But anyways, that's going to do it for today. This is Smart TCG. I'll speak with you guys again soon. Peace out.